It's your boy Diddy, and you're watching DJ Delz. Yeah, pow.
Boy, Young Jizzle, nigga, y'all know what it is, man. DJ Delz.
Peace, man. What's up, y'all? This is Common, and right now you checking out DJ Delz. Stay in tune with him, all right?
DJ Delz, absolutely wonderful.
What it do, what it does, the kid, Mr. R.I.P. himself, Low Soul, case you ain't know so, rocking with DJ Delz.
And with it, y'all, it's your boy, Neighborhood Nip. Big shout out to my homeboy, DJ Delz. No question, Neighborhood Nip.
Delz, Red, man, I'm in the building. Let's get it.
What's good? It's your boy, DJ Delz. We are live with the recap for episode 7 and 8 of this amazing documentary on ESPN, The Last Dance. Shout out to Slate. Shout out to Seth. Shout out to from Chicago. Shout out to Jules. Bong, bong, bong. So let's get right into it. We got to speak about the opening. You see Jerry Krause really freaking out at the press when they're talking about, loyalty with everything. And there's a lot of heat with him and the team, of course. Shout out to Mark Garcia in the building. And then it goes right to the 98 Nets versus the Bulls. Then it jumps to 93 real quick with the Suns. And they talk about the whole relationship then with Michael Jordan's dad, James Jordan, and Michael Jordan, and how he was missing. They found his car. His car was stripped. Then about 3 weeks later, they found his body in a creek, shot once in the chest. And this was in 1993. The media was kind of like almost making it like this murder may have had to do with Michael Jordan's gambling issues, because he did have gambling problems, which we did go through in the other episodes. If you have not watched all of the recaps, I have all of them, and I will put a playlist when I get a chance up top or in the description box. Clint, what's up? I see you. Danelle, what's up? And keep in mind, we do have the super chat at Real DJ Delz. And the Cashapp REALDJDELZ, and the super chat is, of course, in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think about the murder of his father. Do you think this was some sort of hit, something that had to do possibly with, his gambling, quote unquote, issues? Some will say, even though Michael Jordan said that he didn't have any issues. I would love to know in the comments if you're watching on the replay or in the chat while we're live. Then they also talk about how, the whole situation with Michael Jordan retiring, was this really him retiring, or was it David Stern secretly suspending him for his gambling? That's just like a rumor, a thing that some people believe went down with the whole situation. So, it's interesting how all that went down. But one thing for sure, Michael Jordan was really close with his father, and it broke him. And he ended up going to baseball. He left, and he tried out for the Sox. He didn't do too well. In the beginning, he was hitting pretty decent. And then, the pitchers started really pitching different to him. They weren't just throwing them fastballs at him. And he didn't do too well. The press was really dogging him, saying he's just not cutting it. Even Sports Illustrated dogged him. He was really insulted by that. And yes, I think so. He needed a break. And that's really what he was saying. He was kind of exhausted about the whole thing. So let's see. So he practiced like crazy. He ended up stepping up his batting to a 202 just from practicing more. It jumps back to 98. So much time jumping back and forth. Which I don't mind. Some people think it's annoying. I don't mind. It starts going to now, some of his teammates talking about how he would push them so hard, like Scott Burrell, and how he was almost like the bad guy, but it really helped with them being more focused and motivated. They needed that push to win. Then it goes to 94 when the Bulls played without Jordan, and how the triangle offense was fantastic, and people were really questioning if they could really deliver that triangle offense without Michael Jordan. But they were saying that was some of the tightest they've ever had, that Phil Jackson triangle offense going. Then they went to the whole situation with Tony Kukoc, how they were really depending on him, not only Pippen. And Pippen sat out because he wasn't the guy to hit that last shot. They needed to score to win, and Pippen was frustrated about it and sat out. And I thought that was really not a good look for Pippen. I mean, you don't do that to your team. And it was so disappointing that even Bill Cartwright had like a speech at the end of the game. He was in tears about Scottie because everyone loved Scottie Pippen so much. And by the way, Tony did hit that shot. And if you watch throughout this whole show, like Tony had a lot of hardships with like people just looking down upon him, kind of looking at his talents and not thinking he's that great. But he was a fantastic basketball player, and he nailed that shot, by the way. Yes, Pippen was definitely wrong. Let's see what the comments are saying. Marcus saying retirement was due to all of them. Dad's murder, gambling, secret suspension, worn out with the three-peat. Yeah, I mean, he was really worn out by that three-peat. And you could tell when we watched the documentary episode 5 and 6, you were really seeing how it was all weighing out with him, even with just his like celebrity status. It was draining him. You could see how he was at the hotel, and it was his only way of just relaxing. Like, and once he walked out of that hotel room, it was really difficult for him. So getting back to what we got here, the Knicks ended up winning though that series in Game 7. Then they time jumped to 1998 with the Nets, and the Bulls swept them. Then B.J. Armstrong talks about how Michael Jordan wasn't a nice guy at all. He was really difficult to be around him. If you weren't working with him, you probably wouldn't even want to be around him. That was basically what he was saying. And Michael Jordan then says, one thing you can ask my teammates is that he's never asked his teammates to do anything that he wouldn't do. And I thought that was a powerful statement right there. I actually like that, because he was pushing them, but everything that he wanted them to do, he was doing. So he was really expecting them to go as hard as he was going. But you could go hard, but you just don't have that talent that Michael Jordan has at the end of the day, right? So he got really emotional toward the end. And I feel like maybe, inside, he may have felt a little bad about how hard he went, because he was tearing. And he was like, okay, we need a break right now. So he was tearing, and he took that break. So he was really emotional. We're at the 8-minute mark. I know I always show the sneaker of the stream during the 5-minute mark. But I want to get through this first episode. We'll get to the next one in a second. And please hit the thumbs up button right now if you're enjoying this stream. Once again, we do have Super Chat. Goes a long way, and the Cash App right there. If you do Cash App me on the replay, I always shout you out on the next stream. So sneaker of the stream, the sneaker I'm going to show you today are these right here. And this is the new retro. And I'm curious to know if you like them with the lace lock off or the lace lock on. So let me know in the comments. Lace lock on or lace lock off. And I just did a detailed review. Very disappointed in this model. You'll see why in the review. I would love for you all to watch it. But I do want to get right back to this because there's just so much to cover, and I want to keep this video tight. When I do these streams, I really try to aim for it to be actual content. So moving on to episode 8, it starts with the Bulls versus Charlotte. And B.J. Armstrong is now a member of the Charlotte Hornets. He went ham in Game 2. I mean, he really went ham, won the game for the Hornets, talked so much trash, and it fired up Jordan. You cannot talk trash or get Michael Jordan feeling some sort of way, because if you have Michael Jordan feeling some sort of way, then he just gets so triggered and he puts it on in the court. he brings it. And that's really what happened. He shut them down, man. B.J. Armstrong could barely score during game 3. He completely crushed them. He annihilated them. And thank you so much, Mark Garcia, for the super chat. Appreciate you. He said, because you're a good man. And I do appreciate that. I try my best. And I'm glad that you're enjoying this content right here. Thank you so much. And let's see where we are. So yeah, Michael Jordan, it's fascinating with Michael Jordan, right? He gets so fired up by what other people think of him. And this is something that you can see throughout this whole documentary. But what he does is he grabs the anger and it brings more fuel to the fire, and he kicks ass on that court. So it's just a lesson that when you have someone that fires you up, take that negative energy and bring it and make something great happen with it. That's what I gather from Michael Jordan as far as him being an inspiration. He definitely seems to be kind of an ignorant, arrogant, maybe not ignorant, but arrogant person, And I don't like arrogant people. It's one thing to feel confident about yourself, but at times, just from what I've seen out there, he doesn't seem like the most friendliest guy. As I said, I love Michael Jordan as far as watching him play basketball. The sneakers, big fan of. But if I had the opportunity to meet someone like Michael Jordan or Shaq or like Barkley, I'd rather meet those guys versus Michael Jordan, even Pippen. I just can't see Michael Jordan being someone that I would enjoy meeting, because I don't think he would be that friendly. I've heard so many times he don't even want to take pictures with people. And there's a funny story with Noriega about that, where he wouldn't even take a picture with him. And even Chamillionaire donated a ton of money, and he wasn't even trying to give him the time of day. Definitely look those up on YouTube. Funny stories. Even actually Bronson, the rapper, had a terrible experience. So where are we? So the series with the Hornets versus the Bulls ends at game 5. After that game 2 with B.J. Armstrong all fired up and kicking ass, after that it was a wrap. Michael Jordan was just heated up, NBA jams, and defeated them. We get back to a time jump to 95, talks about the strike with the replacement games, and Michael Jordan walks out. Michael Jordan then calls B.J. Armstrong and says, hey, I want to come to some practices. Before you know it, you start seeing him at 1 practice a week, then 2 practices a week. The media's in a frenzy. Fans are in a frenzy. Is Michael Jordan coming back? They needed Michael Jordan. Horace Grant left. He went to the Magic. He's playing with Shaq and Anderson and Penny and all these guys, they needed Michael Jordan. They really did need him. And Horace Grant is an amazing basketball player. Losing Horace Grant was a big L. Mark says Jordan got the tech in game 3 or 4 against the Hornets. You should have seen his eyes. He was pissed. Yeah, I do remember that too, brother. I mean, I was a kid watching these games, and it's a blessing. Sometimes I'll say to myself, man, I'm getting old. But then I look at it and I'm like, I don't think I'd ever want to grow up in any other era, because from sports to music, I mean, I think that era was like the best, the 80s and the 90s. It was just amazing. No disrespect to what's going on now, but it is what it is. If you disagree with me, please feel free to disagree with me, So getting back to this review, he finally comes back, and the press release, he says in his own words, just simply, I'm back. That's faxed all over the place. I'm back. That's Michael Jordan's press release. Then they talk about the struggles of losing Horace Grant. Michael Jordan's first game back was versus the Pacers, and they lost the game. They talk about him changing to the number 45. Then they go to the double nickel game versus the Knicks, scored 55 points in the Garden. And then it jumps to the Bulls versus Magic with Shaq, Penny, Anderson stealing the ball from him and then getting it to Horace Grant, hitting that basket. And defeating them during that whole season. That series, they defeated him. Nick Anderson even said that, says that the 45 isn't the 23, and then he switched back in game 2. But the season did still come to an end. He was gassed out, like he ran out of gas. Michael Jordan was weak in the legs. He wasn't in tip-top shape. He was training in baseball, very different than basketball. So his body wasn't the same. Then it goes to him filming with Space Jam and him inviting basketball players during the downtime of filming and playing games with some of the best. And it really helped him a lot. And then talks about the Steve Kerr situation with practice. They jump back to, this next season where Steve Kerr stood up for himself because Michael Jordan was acting like a dick to him. And he punched Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan punched him back. Michael Jordan felt bad. He said, I just beat up the smallest guy on the team, gave him a call, but also, gave him a lot of respect because of the fact that he fought back. And I always say that, best way to handle a bully is to fight back, old school style, words or fists, nothing crazy, but that's the best way. Don't let a bully see that you're scared or intimidated, because then they're just going to eat you up alive, dig in deep and show them that that ain't flying with you. Even if you did get a black guy after it, hey, he earned the respect. And after that, it was smooth sailing. They had a great relationship after that. So let's see where we are right here. It goes to actually, after that, them getting Dennis Rodman. It was nice to have more going on with Dennis Rodman, who really just filled the shoes for Horace Grant, because, Horace Grant was a big loss. Horace Grant was a great player for the Bulls, and that was a major, major loss. The Bulls, during this season, they talk also about the 72-10, how they beat the Lakers record during the season. Then they swept Orlando, which was a great feeling because of the fact that, Orlando defeated them before. And then they go to the Sonics, and Michael Jordan was really fueled off of George Karl ignoring him after game 1 at the restaurant, because they have a lot of history together. So he was really pissed off about that. Once again, someone pisses him off, and then he's got that fuel for the fire, and he goes in. They lose a couple of games, and then Gary Payton tells coach, like, I've had enough. I'm going to cover Michael Jordan. And he worked Michael Jordan pretty well. Michael Jordan denied it. He said it had nothing to do with Gary and his defense and this and that. I disagree. Gary Payton is a fantastic basketball player. That team was brilliant with Sean Kemp. I mean, they were a great team, the Seattle Supersonics, during that time. So I totally disagree with Michael Jordan says, but he's a cocky guy, so he's going to say what he's going to say. Payton was even saying that his whole objective was to tire him out, and I think he did a great job. And I think that Gary was right, where you never know. He could have had a chance if they played with that tactic in the beginning. But the coach, George Karl wasn't really feeling that at first until he basically forced it on him. Then it goes to the Father's Day game where, they win. The Bulls win, extremely emotional. And you see Michael Jordan crying on the floor. And, this was really a tough situation. Michael Jordan was always used to having his father around, supporting him, and he didn't have that no more. And this was really difficult for Michael Jordan. It would have been difficult for anyone, right? I'm sure for you, for me, I know it would be. And then after that, it goes to the jump to 98, Indiana versus the Bulls, the Eastern Conference Finals, with Reggie Miller talking that trash. Reggie Miller loves to talk, blah, blah, blah. I love Reggie Miller, though. I'm not dissing him, but he talks mad stuff. That infamous photo with the choking and everything, classic. And he said, man, I want to be the one to, retire Michael Jordan. And you could see in his eyes, how excited he is to have the opportunity to possibly put the nail in the coffin on Michael Jordan's career. So we got that next week, and that's going to be really exciting. All in all, they nailed it again. Great, great storytelling. the time jumping, a little sloppy. You know, they went into the bullet situation with the Washington Bullets. Just the jumping around, a little too much jumping around on this one. I haven't complained about the jumping around at all. I know some have, but I felt like a little too much jumping around. That's just me personally. But yeah, I would love to know how you all feel about it. And please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy these recap reviews. And keep in mind, I've done one for every single episode. I'll put a playlist when I get a chance in the description box below. And also, before I forget, I shot this vlog documentary over in Myrtle Beach 2 days ago. It was a lot of work, and I cover Doc Antle, you know, from Tiger King, his place. And I want you to watch it and judge to see if this guy is a good guy or a bad guy when it comes to his Myrtle Beach safari and what him and his staff is doing with the animals. So after we're done here, in the description box below, I would love for you to watch this video because I worked extremely hard on it, and it's something different. You get to see a different side of me. I have a big passion for animals, and you get to see that. I mean, my heart when it comes to animals. Some of you know, some of you are about to know. But please watch this video. I worked extremely hard at it, and you will like it. You will love this video. You like 100%. You will love this video. So it will be linked in the description box, and eventually it will be pinned in the comments after this stream. So let's get into some of these comments and chats before we go. Will be the 2-minute warning. Once again, sneaker of the stream is the Jordan 5. I did a detailed review today earlier. Please watch that too. And I show the on foot also. So Mark is laughing. I don't know exactly at what, but I hey, if you laughing, that's part of the reason why we're here, man. I'm trying to bring entertainment to you all. Mark says, not sure about shutdown, but definitely phased him. Yes, I mean, he didn't shut him down clearly. So I will, like, if I said it in that way, I don't think I did. I think you were talking about him particularly, but he did a good freaking job, man. He was working the shit out of Michael Jordan, but you know, I would have liked to seen if they stuck with him. I mean, didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year that year? I'm pretty sure, the glove. So why would you not have him defending Michael Jordan from the gate, right? And they did defeat them in the season too. So that made no sense to me. You know, I mean, I'm no coach. I'm no George Karl. I mean, George Karl is amazing, you know, but what are you gonna do? Glenn says that Robinson was the guy who shut down Shaq. Robinson is an amazing defensive player, and with the rebounds, he's a freak of nature, you know. Let's see. Mark writes, Rusty in 95, Space Jam made him better again, and then some. And you know what? Maybe Space Jam also being in a movie maybe brought some more confidence out there. I mean, can you imagine being in a movie, especially with like Bugs Bunny? It's a big deal, you know, to be in a movie like that, you know? So that could have brought his confidence up. Sometimes we all need that, a little confidence booster, you know? So, yeah, that's what I got here. Fly Ming, what's up, brother? You late? And I'm here. Go Bulls. Watch this from the beginning. I think this was a good review. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this recap review. Hit the thumbs up button once again. Keep in mind, the more thumbs ups, the more YouTube recommends these videos and my channel. And I really enjoy doing this. I love entertaining you all. Right now, it's 10:30 at night. I've been extremely busy this weekend working. And I wasn't even able to watch this till today. I just finished watching, and I said, I got to get to my fellas, my ladies, you know, the family over here on YouTube. And we got to talk about this, you know, because I'm a diehard Michael Jordan fan. So we got to do this shit. It's as simple as that. We got to do this, right? Benjamin says, I want to see your Tiger video. Send the link. The link is in the description box below, okay? Matter of fact, I may be able to just put it in here. Let's see. Okay, yes. There is the link right there. That's where the link is. You can copy and paste it. But if you look underneath the screen in the description box, you can just click in the description box. It'll say, if you love animals and what I do, watch this video. So watch that video because it's amazing. I'm telling you, it's some of my most proudest work I've ever done. I get to interact with the famous Bubbles the elephant, who was a big fan of me, Bubbles the elephant. I got to hang out with tigers, and it's fascinating. So you know, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this, and I wanted to kind of like be on some Geraldo Rivera type of deal, and go and check it out and see what it was really like over there after all this Tiger King stuff. And you know, this kind of content I want to continue to do, so I need your support over there. I know everyone here is all about the sneakers, so if you're not into that, that's fine. But I think that everyone that likes me will get to see a total other side of me, and I think that you all will really enjoy it and appreciate it. But yeah, we're about to get up out of here. I hope you all have a great week. It's Monday today, and let me know also how's everything going with you all as far as with you know, coronavirus and everything like that. You know, I hope everyone is doing all right out there. I know that a lot of stores are opening. I know around my way they opened up the Jimmy Jazz, and there was an actual lineup for those Royals on Saturday. There was a lineup, and I was all over the news, so it was kind of crazy. Foot Lockers around my way are still not open, but Finish Lines are. And I wanted those Royal, excuse me, I need to take a drink of water. When you're talking like this, just nonstop talking, you start getting a little parched, you know. But yeah, as I was saying, Finish Line is open, and Foot Locker is not around my way. I did want to get those ones, but I was so busy. I was filming for this like documentary vlog, and it really is like a documentary. You're gonna absolutely love this video. So watch it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments about everything we talked about here if you're watching this on the replay. And also, please also leave your comments on that other video, so I know that you watched that other video. Everyone have a great week, for real. Great week, and stay positive out there. I know sometimes it's hard to, but you know, I always say the sun can't shine every day. So you're going to have a crappy day sometimes, maybe even a crappy week, but it's going to get better. Just hang in there, all right? Much love out there, and we are out.